Hello student, this is question from class 10th, chapter 14, probability, exercise 14.1. Question 1. Complete the following statement. Probability of an event E plus probability of the event not E is equal to 1. As we know, in an experiment, probability of event E to happen plus probability of an event not to happen is 1 here. So let's go to our second part. The probability of an event that cannot happen is 0. As such an event is called impossible event. Such an event is called impossible event. For example, when we throw a dice, probability of getting number 7 is 0. So such event is called impossible event. Third part is the probability of an event that is certain to happen is 1, and such an event is called sure event or certain event. Certain event, we know that this event is going to happen for sure, so it is called sure event and its probability to happen is 1. The sum of probability of all elementary events in an experiment is 1. For example, when we throw a dice, probability of getting number 1 is 1 by 6, that is an elementary event, and probability of getting 2 is also 1 by 6, and that is also an elementary event. In this way, if we add all these elementary event, we get 1 here. The probability of an event is greater than or equal to 0 and but less than or equal to 1. So for an event to happen is impossible event is 0, and for an event to happen will be greater than 0 but it will be less than 1. Now let us go to our second part. Which of the following experiment have likely equal outcomes? That is, likely equally outcomes means that there is equal chances of getting each outcome. So let's do the first part, that is, a driver attempts to start a car. The car starts or does not start. So it is not an equally outcome, as usually the car starts, but it will not start if the car is out of order. So we write it down. So it is not an equally likely outcome, as car usually starts but it will not start if car is out of order. Okay. Now let us go to our second part, that is, a player attempts to shoot a basketball. He or she shoots or misses the shots. It is also not an equally outcome, as it depends upon the player's ability. So we write it down. It is not an equally likely outcome, as it depends upon player's ability. Okay, now let us go to our third part. A trial is made to answer a true false question. The answer is wrong or right. So we are making a trial. So it can be true or false. So it is equally likely outcome, as both have equal chances to happen. So we write it down. It is equally likely outcome, as both have equal chances to happen. Now let us go to our fourth part. A baby is born. It is a boy or girl. So when a baby is born, it is equally chance for it can be boy or girl. So we write it down. It is equally likely outcome as both have equal chances to happen. Now this was our second question. Now let us go to our third question, that is, why is tossing a coin considered to be a fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of the football game? So we know when we toss a coin, there is equal chances of getting head and tail. So it is a fair way to decide it. So we write it down. We write, when we toss a coin, there is equally likely outcomes. Means it can be head or tail. Therefore it is considered a fair way to decide which team should get the ball first. Okay, now let us go to our fourth question, which is, which of the following cannot be the probability of an event? So we know that probability of the event, that is probability of the event, is greater than or equal to 0 but less than or 0 to 1. So the value of probability of an event should be between 0 and 1. It can be 0 and 1 as well. So now let's see here. We have 2 by 3. It cannot be negative. So we have here is negative 1.5. So this could be the answer. But let us check the other one also. We have 2 by 3, that is 0.6666 something, that is less than 1, and 15%, that is 15 by 100, that is 0.15 something, and this is 0.7, this is also less than 1. So for the probability that cannot happen is minus 1.5, probability cannot be in negative. Now let's go to our fifth question, that is, if probability of event is 0.05, what is the probability of not event? So we have to find the probability of not event. So we have been given that probability of the event here is 0.05. So probability of not event, we know the formula, that is 1 minus probability of event. So it will be 1 minus 0.05 and that will be is equal to 0.95. I hope you understood this question. For question 6 onward, watch my next video. Thank you.